This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It's Tuesday, September 15th.
Well, in February, Pahrump gathered together for some very special announcements. Nobody really knew how special, though, because it was a big secret. Mike Rowe was in town, so everyone knew it had to be something good or perhaps a dirty job. Mike brought along a film crew and a Vegas icon, Charo. Mike's visit was all about returning the favor, a new show on Facebook that does just what the title says. That day in February was all about honoring and thanking a Pahrump icon, BJ Hedrick Irwin. No one was more surprised than BJ. She thought that she and the Silver Tappers were part of a little documentary, but it was bigger than that. After many months of waiting, the show premiered on Facebook today, and the Silver Tappers had a watch party to celebrate. Here's how it all went down from our cameras.
They think that they're going to do a performance purely for our cameras just so we can film them. Of course, what's really going to happen is you guys will be sitting out here very, very quietly. They'll have no idea there's an audience. And when those curtains open, you will scream at the top of your lungs and stand up, and the ladies will faint. And it'll be great fun. The Nevada Silver Tappers! Are you surprised at all? Be honest.
Oh my God, yes. Wow.
I spent the day with this woman. Most of you know her better than I do, but I can tell you, in my travels, I have never, ever met a woman who's more connected to her community and a community who loves an individual more than BJ Irwin and the good people of Pahrump. So give yourselves a hand, because this is kind of amazing.
Don't make me cry.
I'm going to make you cry if I can, BJ. We'll see what we can do. My dear friend Charo is standing by, and I am going to ask her if she would be so kind to please, in your own signature way, darling, deliver that check however you think is best. Oh my gosh, you are fantastic. Thank you. It's the real Charo, I know. I know. I know. Later, we're all going to put on Charo's outfit, and it's going to be unbelievable. We have, courtesy of our friends over at the Dance Wear Corner, $9,000 worth of anything you could ever need in the way of costumes and leotards, and we have tap shoes and all of that stuff. And I'm going to give this to you just to hang on to that, because that's going to be fun. I thought you already figured it out, but if you haven't, well, you're on an episode of a show on Facebook called Returning the Favor. And what happens on Returning the Favor is we go around the country and we look for people like you who love their communities and who are doing great work for their communities, and then we try and reward them. Part of the reward is just a little something from our friends over at the Dance Wear Corner. Another part of the reward is letting you know that these cameras in this show are going to be on the biggest platform in the world and be seen by millions and millions of people. One more little thing. You said today, and I talked to your friends about the importance of leaving a legacy and the importance of being remembered and the importance of what you're doing going on and on and on and on and on. And I don't know if there's a magical way to make it happen, but I know the community loves you so much, and I know you have a nonprofit foundation, and we just think that the people watching this program, the people here, starting with us, might be able to leave a little something behind to help you get to where you need to go that much faster. So Charo, if you would be so kind to bring the second check over. It's not a ton, but we figured $25,000 might help you get things started.
Y'all know how much she means to me. Mike, this is the reason I live here and love you all so much because I owe this community everything. God bless you all. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to cry. But this is absolutely overwhelming. It truly, truly is.
I think BJ's a star. I think she could have been an actress. She's hilarious. She has the greatest ease of talking with people.
I thought they did a spectacular job. The cuts were just wonderful. I mean, it showed a little bit of everything. BJ is truly a comedian, new career. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Can't wait for everyone to see it.
It was mind-blowing. I didn't know I'd ever cashed so much in my life, but you know, only in Prompt would I've ever had this opportunity. And that's the reason I want to give back to this community at all times. Because any place I lived before, I'd just been a number, honey. But here, it was, Mike Rowe deserves, I'm going to put him in for president. I want him to be president of the United States. We got a beautiful new studio, as you can see, remodeled it, and that's what we did. And then the $9,000, they sent us like tap shoes and things like that, which is very, and we still have some coming, but we haven't decided what we needed yet. But it's so mind-boggling to me, honey. I just, you know, what can I say? But God bless Prompt.
God bless you. Thanks so much, and congratulations to BJ Hedricker and the Nevada Silver Tappers. Returning the Favor can be found on Facebook. The show did a great job of showcasing a group that is very dear to the community of Pahrump, the Nevada Silver Tappers. We hope you will watch.
And a man who is accused of burning down his own home was arrested by Sheriff's Office deputies.
On September 9th, Nye County Sheriff's Office responded to an address in Pahrump for a welfare check for a male that had his trailer burned the night prior. When officers arrived, they made contact with the reporting person, who pointed out a male sitting with his head down. Officers identified this man as Anthony Arthur. While speaking with Arthur, he allegedly said that he had smoked meth the night prior and began hearing voices in his head that told him to burn his trailer down. Arthur said that after hearing the voices, he allegedly lit a cigarette, threw it onto the floor of the trailer, and ran away before first responders arrived. Arthur then stated that he was sad now because he is homeless and all of his belongings were burned. Arthur was placed under arrest for willfully and maliciously setting fire to his mobile home. He was transported to Nye County Detention Center, where he was booked accordingly. We spoke to Nye County Fire and Rescue's Scott Lewis about the fire.
We found a complex of structures and vehicles that appear to be used as residences. For example, there was a motorhome that was used as a fixed structure. There was a travel trailer in close proximity used as a fixed structure. There was a double-wide manufactured dwelling, a closely placed SUV that was well involved in fire. So heavy fire conditions, a lot of fuel in the immediate area. Crews commenced a defensive exterior attack, knocked down the main body of fire, moved to the exposures, quickly extinguished them. So a great job done. Most of the other structures, other than the motorhome of origin and the SUV, were lost. There were two residents, or two people residing there in each of the motorhome uses a fixed structure and then a travel trailer. So one of them had left prior to fire department arrival. The second one was on scene, was medically assessed, and refused transport to the local hospital.
Well, Nye County says that there's one more Pahrump resident that has died related to COVID-19. Overall, there has been 490 cases with positive test results since they started recording the test results. There's no new positive test results reported and confirmed by this morning. There's also no new positive test results outside Pahrump during the past 21 days. Chemist's Laboratory, through its Serenity Health, offers drive-up COVID-19 testing for Nye County and surrounding communities. Testing in Pahrump is now Monday from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. and Wednesday and Friday, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. The testing location here in Pahrump is at 2280 East Calvada Boulevard, number 301. You can also make an appointment for COVID and antibody testing by giving them a call at 702-234-5398. In Tonopah, you can call 775-302-5800 or 775-482-9898. Please bring your identification and insurance card if you have insurance. If you don't, you may still test.
And after this break, we're showing and telling the very latest from Apple, Google, and DraftKings. That and more local news when we return.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, Apple is showing off its latest batch of high-tech products. Google is preparing to show off its latest gadgets at the end of this month, and a joint venture between DraftKings and ESPN sends shares soaring. Angela Miles has that and more.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, Apple will take the wraps off new gadgets today. According to CNBC, the products will likely include a new iPad Air and Apple Watch models. It's not clear if the new iPhone 12 will be released, possibly because it's not far enough along in mass production. Apple tends to show off new products and updated versions of its more popular devices ahead of the holiday season. Google plans to unveil a new Pixel 5 smartphone, Chromecast, and smart speakers September 30th. Alphabet, which owns Google, is calling it launch night. DraftKings shares are back in play. The daily fantasy sports company will become the co-exclusive partner of gambling link outs from ESPN. DraftKings stock is up 160% since its IPO in April.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
All right, thanks, Angela. Well, let's see what's happening in our local courts with Missy Kohler.
I'm Missy Kohler with your court report. James Benetti made an appearance in district court on September 9th to face charges from a September 2018 arrest. Benetti was arrested with William Butler after the Nye County Sheriff's Office conducted a search warrant at an address on Union Pacific in Pahrump in reference to child pornography. The case involved a 14-year-old juvenile male who was allegedly sending nude pictures of himself to Butler. The search warrant included all cell phone devices on the property. Detectives say they found several conversations on the cell phones that alluded to a sexual relationship between Butler, who was 41 at the time, and the 14-year-old child. Officers also found child pornography on the cell phones, as well as conversations between Benetti and Butler that alluded to sexual encounters with the child. According to a press release received at the time of the arrest, this included requests for photos, video chatting, and photos of the child's genitals. Text messages were found inviting the child to their house for a sexual encounter with Butler, Benetti, and one other adult male. In an interview with the victim, police say he acknowledged that he was in a relationship with Butler and Benetti and had had sex with both men inside the home. The child said he could not remember everything that happened because he was drunk at the time. Benetti was arrested in September of 2018 for possession of child pornography and lewdness with a minor. When Benetti appeared in Judge Wonker's courtroom on Wednesday, questions were raised as to a plea agreement that had supposedly been reached between Benetti and a former deputy district attorney. Judge Wonker would like to know why the negotiations reduced the charge so much. According to Kirk Vitto, the guilty plea was flawed. The guilty plea deal was flawed and did not include registering as a sex offender. Judge Wonker voiced her concerns about the charges going to a probational offense when felony crimes usually carry life in prison. Vitto wants to provide the judge with a new red letter edition of a drafted copy of the plea agreement. Benetti will appear in Judge Wonker's courtroom on September 18th, giving her time to read the red letter plea agreement. Kristen Swan, former president of the Pahrump Visual and Performing Arts Council, was taken into custody on January 8th and charged with 3 counts of obtaining money under false pretense, embezzlement, and theft between $640 to $3,500. According to a sheriff's deputy, a report of embezzlement was received on December 30th, 2019, after the council reported a discrepancy in financial records. Those records showed several transfers had been made from the council's savings account, which had not been approved by the board. Swan then stepped down from the council and is due in court October 14th for pre-trial hearings. And Kenneth Caspio was arrested in October of 2018 and charged with kidnapping, child abuse, false imprisonments, and lewdness. A juvenile allegedly reported to police that while at a party, Caspio sexually assaulted her. Police reported that Caspio made unwanted advances toward the 17-year-old and did not stop when the victim asked him to. According to the report, the victim went to the garage to get water and Caspio followed her. The victim told police that she attempted to get away from Caspio several times, but he physically held her and did not allow her to leave. Caspio originally denied the allegations, but later admitted that he was intoxicated and had apologized to the victim. Kenneth Caspio was arraigned in Pahrump's Justice Court on August 31st. A pretrial hearing is scheduled for January 7th, 2021 at 9 a.m. I'm Missy Kohler, and that's been your court report.
And in other local news, when students started school this year, it was anything but normal. We spoke to 2 students at Rosemary Clark Middle School about their new experiences, inquiring what this new hybrid system is like, if they feel like they are learning, and what it's like to be in school wearing masks and social distancing. We talked to them about other things, such as wearing a mask in school all day. Students seem to be adapting well, and they have one thing in common, though. They do miss what school life used to be like.
It's a little different. Well, a lot different. So I still like it. I like online school as well. Well, I liked computers before, and I just never were really on computers unless I was in computer class or on my mom's computer doing work. But then now I'm on my computer almost every day and all the time. It's just, I'm kind of sick of the computer now. So Mondays and Wednesdays I go to on-campus school, and you have to wear masks and do all our classes. They're pretty much the same, just wearing masks and social distancing and using hand sanitizer. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I come home and I do my computer work. I see some of my friends. I don't see a lot of my friends because you had a choice before school started if you wanted to do the 2 days or if you wanted to do fully online. A lot of my friends did fully online, so I don't really get to see a whole bunch of my friends. But yeah, we have lunch at school, so it's the same line and everything. And each of the seats have a little shark on them, every other seat, and you can sit on the sharks, but there's a seat separating us. I really hope it does get back to normal. I really want it to get back to normal.
Well, when we discovered we might not be coming back to school, it's a lot harder doing everything online, not having interactions with our teachers. With math, it's a lot harder because just learning equations and stuff over a computer screen is not very easy. It's definitely a lot harder because we can't be close to friends or other people to help us. We have to social distance, so. Yeah.
And both students we spoke to said that they do feel that they do have extra access to their teachers if they needed, but they still feel that they really miss their in-class activities. And in other news, we'll share with you how you can prevent the spread of COVID-19. That, and when we return, so much more.
We're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Are you tired of wearing a mask and social distancing? I know I am. As the pandemic continues with no end in sight, it can be difficult to maintain safe habits that feel somewhat confining. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Scott B. says it's not easy, but we have to find it within ourselves to make sure COVID-19 safety measures don't slip.
I call it willingness to do uncomfortable things because we value them and deem them worthwhile, and they protect ourselves and those that we care about.
Over time, as we adjust to a threat and stress levels drop, it's natural to let our guard down. It's important to remember, though, that if we take a break on safety measures, coronavirus does not. It continues infecting people. Experts say creating habits out of safety routines may help us maintain them without having to think about them. Dr. B says when we're fatigued, we want to rest, but the more rest we get, the more fatigued we feel. So he recommends new actions or activities to help us get back on track.
Finding a new mask, something that excites you, a new social distancing activity, finding something novel and new is a way we excite our brains, and it's a way we can overcome fatigue.
Wearing a mask, social distancing, and good hand hygiene will be an important part of daily life until there's an effective treatment or vaccine for COVID-19, and that could be a while. Dr. B reminds us that these practices are still the best ways to protect loved ones from coronavirus.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, we've got part of the country that needs rain badly and another part of the country that's going to get too much rain. Hurricane Sally is expected to make landfall on the central Gulf Coast as a Category 1 hurricane Wednesday. Slow movement, well, it's just picking up more rainfall, bringing significant rainfall and high potential for life-threatening flash flooding. There is a hurricane warning for the area from Mississippi to Florida.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening. I'm Missy Kohler filling in tonight for John, who is at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. Being new here, this is a pretty nice fall for me. I'm enjoying these temperatures, even the cooling off in the evening. How about you? Not bad day today for Fernley. They saw a high of 89, low tonight a comfortable 53. In Fallon, high 91, low tonight should be about 50. Carson City, 88 for a high with a low of 48. Might want to snuggle up closer together tonight. Tonopah, 85 for a high with a low tonight of 49. In Goldfield, 87, low of 49. Beatty saw a high today of 96, low temperature tonight 59. As we get farther south, temperatures go up. Amargosa, high today of 100 with a low of 63. Death Valley, 111, low tonight 75. And in Las Vegas, a high of 102 with a low of 74. Here in our hometown of Pahrump, we had a high today of about 98 degrees. Just a slight breeze and 11% humidity with a sunrise waking you up at 6:27 a.m. Tonight's low, 66 degrees. That'll feel pretty good. Just a very ever so slight breeze and a slight increase in humidity at 17%. And sunset at 6:50 p.m. Outlook for the 7-day forecast, not too bad at all. Temperatures cooling off nicely in the evening. 67 for Wednesday, 73 for Thursday. Temperatures throughout the whole rest of the week in the mid to upper 90s with those comfortable temperatures in.
Thanks so much, Missy. And yeah, John was at the Board of County Commissioners meeting today, so we'll have some more on what happened there on tomorrow night's broadcast.
Yes, and looking a bit past our atmospheric forecast, did you know that scientists feel that they might have found proof that there is life on Venus? And that's exciting, yes. But we won't be going to Venus anytime soon because it's around 800 degrees Fahrenheit and there's high surface pressure, but it's promising to know that now there'll be more study. There's really only one satellite that had been focused on Venus and several focused on Mars, but now that scientific focus will shift. So it's exciting.
That's exciting stuff. All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. And from all of us here at KPVM and A's Country Radio, we would like to thank all of our viewers and listeners out there, wherever you are.
Good night.
Good.